Hi, welcome to Quirky Queen's Journals. My name's Kirsten. So I've actually been really busy over the bank holiday weekend. I have glued lots of jelly prints onto some chipboard, and I'll link the video, but my botanical, when I was using all the dead flowers covered in black acrylic paint, and I made about 50 prints. I think it was actually more than 50, to be honest. Anyway, I have been trying to do some work on them with negative painting, so we'll do these ones quickly. These are time consuming, they're more complex, and they require a fine line that I don't have the patience for. So this one, I put some blue, dark blue paint over the black areas, and then I've put a yellow glaze over the whole thing. I should show you what these were like originally. These were the originals. So you can see that one's really quite messy and complex. And if you fill in the black areas, hopefully we'll get some nice sort of mysterious, macabre, maybe a bit whimsical shapes coming through. This one I'm never going to touch because I love it, because it looks like a steampunk guy. But anyway, so this started life like this. This one I have used black fine line pen and Posca pen, and then I've put a red high flow glaze over it, like acrylic inks. This one's just purely had the pen work, so it's not had a glaze, and you can see, there's a lot of variation in the black. I do feel the glaze does help. Now this one I didn't do any pen work on, I just glazed it. It needs the pen work. And this one I have painted in the background with a Posca pen. And I thought, let's glaze it. We shall glaze it together. I need my towel for my paintbrush. The paintbrush is kind of wet that I'm using, but I don't want it to be so wet that okay. So I'm choosing yellow because obviously it's blue and green, so it shouldn't create anything too off the wall colour wise. But it just helps. I think that the glazing on top does help. I wish I'd been a bit more thoughtful about my colour choices when I'd made them. I think if I'd stuck to black and white when I made them, this would be more effective. I would have more choices. This dries very fast. So I just think it adds a bit of life into it. Oh, wait till I move all those paintbrushes into the clean water. We're going to be using a bit of everything today, but we're going to use these slightly less complex designs. So that's it. I mean, it's practically dry already because I've put on such a thin layer. So that's them. I'm still working on them. Now for these here, I've just been using chipboard. Some of them I've Mod Podged on, and other ones I've glue sticked on. Glue sticked. Are we considering that now part of the language? We glue sticked. So they're just cheap, these, and you don't need to use chipboard. You could use like cardstock or something, but If you're going to cover something up, use the cheap stuff. I'm double-siding all these as well. I'll just do 2 just now because we've got over 30 sitting there, so we really don't need. Oh, I'm tempted to use the bronze. And I like this corner. We'll use this corner. Okay. The reason I switched from the glue stick to the Mod Podge was purely to try and have better adhesion. It's hard to know which one's quicker because you have to go back with the glue stick and do the corners, so that should have been easier to cut than it was. I was putting them both sides on and then cutting it, but actually it was quite difficult because it was difficult to work out where the edge was, so it actually took quite a long time. So although I was thinking that I was saving time, I wasn't, and I was just making myself a little bit stressed with it. Okay. We'll just quickly do these sides. I don't know why I thought to myself that I should show you how to glue these when you were on video, but I did, so that's where we're at. Welcome to Quirky Queen's Journals, where I show you how to use a glue stick. The reason I'm doing this is because we've all got a big bag of jelly prints or other artworks that are just sitting there knowing that they're too good to throw out, but we don't really know what to do with them. And this is just one of my ideas. And you don't even need to double-side it, I mean, or you could put it on a bigger cardstock. These are just A6 postcard size, and to me it seemed kind of workable, and I thought to myself I could maybe make these into, you know, a lot of people put stuff on the children's board books. I was kind of thinking it could be a version of that. Right, and the other thing that I did was I just put some ink around the edges, because it makes it a little bit more atmospheric. It just gives it a little polished, finished look. And I think as well, when your jelly print is sitting on the paper and the kind of, you know, the way that it's got all the rough edges and that, I think it's nice to see it kind of transformed, and I think the ink helps do that. It's probably unnecessary. It makes me feel good, and that is a valid reason to do it. It's a bit bendy because it's still got some wet glue. And then I'm going to show you what I've been doing, and we'll do some. Some of these prints will be easier than others to do, and probably the two that I've done were pretty easy. And you don't even need to do anything. I mean, I think some of these are lovely on their own. Now I've put pan pastels on this one, and it started life similar to this, So I'll probably do that first. I'll show you that first. And this one is pan pastels as well. And this one is bits collaged on. See, I probably wouldn't touch that one because I like the way the shapes are. I feel like that has got a finished look to it, as does this. I just covered the white a little bit there. This one I used Posca pen on. It's a bit rubbish, but I'm thinking of filling in the brown there. So I'm going to do this one first with the pan pastels. Now I actually did use the pan pastel tools for this, believe it or not. So I used the dark green up here, because really all I'm doing is solidifying this colour more. I had jelly printed these straight onto the chipboard, and that's why it's got this look of, you know, like it's got a lot of texture in it, but it's a bit too much to actually be effective at conveying anything. And what I like about the pan pastels is that although we're putting them on and it does change it slightly, they're transparent enough and soft enough that they don't take away what was originally there. There we go. And I would call that done, because it already had a lot of nice stuff there to begin with. This side is, you know, when you have the papers that, like this brown sheet here that I'm working on top of, or you have bits, you know, you wipe your brushes or whatever. So I've selected, like composition wise, I've selected that out of a bigger sheet, and I like that, and I don't want to do anything to that one. So this one here that I've done some stuff with the Posca pen, I may just, let's try this on here. I'm just going to do one section and see. Yeah, I don't think it really does anything. No, I don't like it. Let's try yellow oxide. And some of these will work better than others, and some of them will work quicker than others. Like those shapes for the pan pastel, they were kind of jelly prints that I'd already thought about composition and bits and pieces for in the first place. Do you know, I might just glaze this. We could just glaze it instead of... Let's do down here and see what happens. No. We're going to do the sections. Do you know, I might leave, see this one here and this going round here. And you can use any paint, it doesn't need to be high float or fluid or whatever. I'm just choosing a more transparent colour But you don't even need to do that. Do you know what? I'm going to go over this, but I'm going to leave the centre square. Yeah. I think that was enough to just, because this now stands out a lot more. I wish I'd left this one. Really not a fan of these tools. One, two, three, four, five. I think that works. Okay. Right, we're saying that one's done. Right, we're saying this one's done. This one. I'm liking that now. That's okay. And I like this one, that's the pan pastel. And then this is one that I've chosen because I like the kind of composition of it, and it's just from, what do they call the paper? I've heard people call it scratch paper. Basically the paper to protect your surface. I'm going to put these to the bottom because I've just used them. Now this one, I love this, but this one's a bit more difficult to work with. And I think that we should maybe wait, where are you? I'm maybe going to try an oil pastel, because what I'm thinking is if I quieten down these areas around that shape, then it will emphasize the shape, because right now it's all just a bit lacking in cohesion. It's all just a bit too messy. I'm going to take that whole corner out. I've rounded it, that was silly. That looks so much better already. I'm just trying to think about what to do with this black line. It's like an elephant wearing shoes and running. Okay, so do we keep the black line or do we just make it a different colour? It's not the colour to use. Kind of like the idea of it being similar to the oops. There we go. I think that's interesting. I just put a bit of hairspray on it because it's oil pastel, and if not, it just goes on to everything. I'm going to do the other side as well, but I'll come back to that. I'm just going to let this sit up here just now. Now, I love this. I had to wash the oil pastel off my hands or it'll end up on everything. I made myself a little cup hat as well. So, some of them lend themselves more to a kind of geometric pattern, and then other ones just a bit more abstract, like that one. And I would say this one again is lending itself more to a geometric pattern. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm following this kind of curvy blue line. I'm also trying to use media that is, you know, for some designs like this is alcohol markers with an Art Deco stamp. I'm sorry, I'm making this very shaky. This may be the last thing I use the coloured pencils for, because it's hard to do them quickly without shaking the table. I do feel like I'm just going to put a bit of pan pastel on it as well. Though I do think the pencil lines have added something. It's just not as smooth as I'd like. There. That's a bit darker than I wanted though as well, so. watercolour pencils. We could try them. I hardly use them. I've got some nice orange in there, so we could even make the outside quite sharp and then this part a wee bit more graduated. If it's in my realm of capabilities. Where's the towel? Here. It's a very vibrant orange. It's just putting a line of water for it to run into to see if it'll give a more graduated effect. I think I'm going to put some yellow here. Oops. Do you know, I probably should have used a normal colouring pencil because if I add anything to this, then it won't. Oops. This will activate, you know, if I add any wet media to it. But I do kind of like it. I don't need to worry about the pink showing up. Oops, all I'm doing is removing that. That's because that's wet. Okay. It's actually not unpleasant. Let's do that. I quite like this. So those, remember I said about I did jelly printing directly onto the chipboard? That's what this is. I think that's smashing. Let's do it here. That is Hooker's green. And I'm sure there's a Hooker's green in here. What colour is this? Mineral green. Do you know what? Let's use this olivey one. We'll put a bit of the dark in as well. See, they're actually... that's not the right shade. Okay, we should have just scored it in the first place. There we go. I think that's cracking. Wee bit of glue stick. Job done. We'll come back and do that back side. Loved this. Do you know, I should get out one of those stencils actually. Do I want to get out one of those stencils? I'm just thinking, should I do something different? Oh my goodness, Kirsten. That shouldn't have been that hard. So that's alcohol markers again, and I've pulled it with, I think it's Naples yellow, but when you use the alcohol inks and markers on the gel plate, it does bleed into the paint, but I like it. Let's, you know, these are very purpley, but it's clearly the colours that I've been using, so these are by PM Artist Studio, And these are some of the imperfectly perfect ones that Mariah's given me that I've talked about in other videos. Okay. So I'm thinking I should have went round the outside as well. Oh, I'm making a right hash. Let's just do the inside. There. That works really well, actually. Do you know what? It gives you a lot of depth because there's already so much swirling underneath. Right. Where is the yellow? I'm going for bright bold yellow. I'm not sure how bright and bold it will be on here. So you can see this one here is imperfectly perfect. It's because there's bits that's obviously broken in the machine when they've made them. Wow, that yellow was very ineffective. Okay. I'm just thinking, do you know what? I'm going to go red. No. We'll go black. I may regret this. But do you know what? This jelly print is an A4 size, so I've got more of it. Most of these jelly prints are A5 or A4, so I've got it probably the other half of the page. Not been impressed with my pan pastels on top of the alcohol markers. I mean, it does give a nice glow. I probably could have held it better. Let's get the stamps. Let's do that. Oh, we could just, that's maybe a bit much. These are not the best number stamps, but it's not bad. I probably could have left that one, to be honest with you. I've got stuff everywhere. Right, let's tidy up the background. Love that one. I wish I'd not put the yellow on. I'm going to let that dry and then we'll go back to it with that. I did this one with oil pastels. One I'm tempted to try. quite like that. Come back to that when it's dry. There. Right, let's do the back of this one. We've got purple and blue. I think we should put in some red. What I like about this as well is, see all the kind of shading and the flaws and everything like that? Because we're working with transparent media, all that work's already been done for you. You really don't, unless you want to put them in different places or make them more obvious or whatever. But to me, it's already been done. We're just making these into lovely kind of postcard, note cards, cards, whatever we want. Pictures. I mean, my idea was actually that you could use them as pictures because you can turn it round if you want. So you're kind of getting two pictures for the price of one. Kind of what I liked, the idea I had about this one was maybe using different mediums of red. I might glaze this one actually. Let's do that. A bigger brush would have been more sensible, but these are water-soluble oil pastels. I don't know whether or not it was a good idea to add the water or not. We shall see. It's not wonderful, but it's still fun. Right. You're done. Do you know, part of me actually likes that exactly as it is. What will we do to you? So, we've got a few things done, and we've got these cards. I'm presenting them really nicely on my dirty bit of paper. I love this one, but I like it this way. And then this one. So there we go. I just want to say thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We will do more of these because, do you know what, I love these, and I just think that they're just lovely ways to keep my jelly prints, and I might do them on a bigger scale as well. But thanks very much for watching. I hope to see you soon, and take care. Bye.